On the morning of August 6th, 1945, a single aircraft flew quietly above the Japanese city of Hiroshima. In less than 1 minute, a weapon never before used in war would be unleashed. By the end of that day, an entire city would be reduced to ashes, and the world would enter the nuclear age. By 1945, World War II had already consumed much of the globe. In Europe, Nazi Germany had surrendered, but in the Pacific, the war continued. Japan refused to accept defeat, even as its cities were devastated and its resources exhausted. American military leaders feared that an invasion of mainland Japan would result in enormous casualties, possibly hundreds of thousands of American soldiers and millions of Japanese civilians. At the same time, the United States had completed a top secret project known as the Manhattan Project. Scientists had developed a weapon of unprecedented power, the atomic bomb. President Harry S. Truman was forced to make a decision that would change history forever. Hiroshima was selected as the target for several reasons. It was a major military and industrial center, housing army headquarters, supply depots, and factories supporting Japan's war effort. It was also a city that had been largely untouched by conventional bombing, making it an ideal location to measure the bomb's full impact. More than 350,000 civilians lived there, families, children, and workers, most unaware of the danger approaching. On that clear summer morning, people were beginning their daily routines. Children prepared for school. Shopkeepers opened their doors. At 8:15 a.m., an American B-29 bomber named Enola Gay appeared high above the city. Because only one aircraft was visible, no air raid sirens sounded. Many people barely looked up. Then, from more than 31,000 feet in the air, a single bomb was released. Its name was Little Boy. 43 seconds later, the bomb detonated above the city center. A blinding flash of white light filled the sky, brighter than the sun. Temperatures at the core of the explosion reached over 4,000 degrees Celsius. In an instant, human shadows were burned into walls and sidewalks. Buildings vanished. Steel melted. Concrete cracked apart. A massive shockwave raced outward, flattening homes, schools, and offices. Fires erupted everywhere, merging into a single firestorm that consumed what remained of the city. Within seconds, Hiroshima was no longer recognizable. An estimated 70,000 people were killed instantly. Many were vaporized where they stood. Others were crushed beneath collapsing buildings or burned alive. Those who survived wandered through ruins that had once been neighborhoods, calling out for family members who would never answer. Hospitals had been destroyed, and many doctors and nurses were dead or injured. With no understanding of radiation, survivors suffered burns and wounds that defied explanation. Some drank water from poisoned rivers. Others collapsed in the streets. Many believed the world itself had ended. In the days and weeks that followed, a new horror revealed itself. People who had survived the explosion began to fall ill. Their hair fell out. Their skin blistered. They suffered internal bleeding and organ failure. This invisible killer, radiation, continued to claim lives long after the blast. By the end of 1945, the death toll had risen to more than 140,000. 3 days later, a second atomic bomb was dropped on the city of Nagasaki. On August 15, 1945, Japan announced its surrender. World War II was finally over. Supporters of the bombings argued that they ended the war quickly and prevented even greater loss of life. Critics argued that the use of nuclear weapons against civilians crossed a moral line and unleashed a danger that still threatens humanity today. The debate has never truly ended. From the ashes of destruction, Hiroshima was rebuilt. Today, it stands as a modern city and a global symbol of peace. At its center lies the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, where the atomic bomb dome remains standing, frozen in time as a reminder of what happened there. Survivors, known as hibakusha, continue to share their stories with the world. They speak not for revenge, but for remembrance. Hiroshima was not just a military event. It was a human tragedy on an unimaginable scale. It reminds us of the cost of war, the power of human invention, and the responsibility that comes with it. Because on that day in August 1945, once the atom was split, the world was changed forever. If you want, I can